Welcome to Steps Forward with Ricky, a weekly walking podcast designed to help you take steps forward in your life and your day.
You know, I was sitting on my couch. It's like the worst couch ever in my apartment. And I had this thought, which I haven't had in a long time. You know, I don't really necessarily think about how long I haven't smoked for or think about how long it's been since I've made certain decisions. Like I post about it, right? I'm like, oh, it's been X amount of months or X amount of days since I, walked away from weed, but I don't necessarily think about it. And I was sitting on my couch the other day and I was like, holy shit. It has been over 7 months since I smoked. 7 months since I have really been with somebody. 7 months since I've basically been in Michigan or back to Michigan. I've only been back once. It's been 7 months since I've changed my life. But when I thought about how long it's been since I've smoked and how much I smoked before, I was like, wow. Let me just sit here for a moment. Hold on, I have to cough. We don't edit our podcast episodes, so you're just going to have to deal with that. But seriously, I sat there and I was like, holy shit. We do things and we make progress, and then sometimes we don't sit with it, or we don't acknowledge it. We just keep moving. And when you use something all the time and it's such a big part of your life and it really ruins your life, and then you walk away from it and you're sitting on your green couch that you got at Wayfair and you're like, holy shit, I am living in California by the beach. I am not smoking. I haven't smoked. I am good on my own. I have a business and a community, and wow. And it was just such a beautiful moment for me, and it should be a beautiful moment for you to acknowledge the things that you've been brave enough to walk away from, or at least acknowledge where you are in the process. You don't have to be like, wow, I did so great, and then do something destructive to fuck it up, but you can acknowledge where you're at and how far you've come, and you should sit with that. Because for me, I never thought I would ever be able to stop smoking. I'm not even exaggerating. You know that if you've joined my programs, or you follow me on this podcast, or you've listened to every episode, or you watch my TikToks, I'm serious. I also never thought that I would be okay on my own, especially without smoking. I was in a relationship. And when that ended, I was like, damn, I don't have that. I don't have my weed. I don't have anything. At least the things that made me feel safe, or I thought they made me feel safe. They actually made me stand still. But, I'm just really proud of myself. And I'm proud of you for wherever you're at in your journey. Maybe this is the first step for you is just listening to this podcast, or watching my videos, or signing up for my programs. It doesn't matter. You're here, and you're here for a reason. If you are our listener, there's no way that there's not a part of you that wants to take a step forward in your life. You guys, I'm really sorry. I'm actually choking on my oatmeal. My producer's going to murder me. So everyone has different first steps, and everyone has different journeys, but let's acknowledge the journey that we're on, and be grateful that we're where we are, or at least trying to get to where we're trying to go. This is not how I usually start the podcast. I'm usually hey guys, I'm Ricky. I am this, I am that, and make sure that you're walking. I just didn't feel like saying that today. But now we're 4 minutes and 23 seconds, 25 seconds in, and I really do hope that you're walking, because this is a walking podcast. And I have a lot that I want to talk about, but I really want to focus on beating ourselves up or staying stuck in some old patterns or stories. And I know I talk about this a lot, and you can refer this to any part of your life, whether you're walking away from weed or a relationship, or maybe you've made all these positive changes and you feel like there are just certain things in your life that are not really moving forward as you're moving forward. I'll give you an example for me. If you've been following me, you know that honestly, I've been having really bad gut health issues. And I've just felt uncomfortable in my body, and I'm really sorry. I just haven't really felt that great. And, it really started. So I walked away from weed in September, and I think it wasn't really until like December, like once my body and my hormones were like kind of evening out after I stopped smoking and was processing all this trauma. And I was on my road trip, and I just wasn't taking good care of myself. I didn't really think about it. I also was just like so high on this high of like not getting high. Does that make sense? I also was on my road trip, like living my life, and I was just having the most fun ever. And I was just so excited about that. And I was also under the impression that I could just eat and do whatever I wanted. It's just not the case. Not an old lady like me. Anyways, I let myself, I'm not going to say I let myself go. I'm going to say that I didn't take care of myself. I did take care of myself in certain ways. I walked away from weed and I started doing emotional work and all that stuff, but I really let certain parts of my life go. Or I didn't even start, I guess. And one of them was my health, my physical health. This is not, if you're a first time listener, I promise I don't usually cough like this. I don't want to redo this episode, so I'm really sorry. Okay, anyways. I gained a little bit of weight. I was really bloated. My skin was breaking out. I was just feeling really shitty from like December until probably like the end of March. And for a moment in time, I thought it was like my body kind of withdrawing like a little bit. Not really, because it had been a few months, but I thought like everything was just trying to get back to normal. That's just kind of what I told myself. And then when I moved to California, I moved here March 2nd. And from March 2nd until I would say like the end, maybe the end of March or like April, let's just call it April 1st, I was like really suffering. My business, my walking away from weed group has been growing, and I'm living near the beach and I feel good on my own. My community of TikTok is growing, like my podcast is growing, like all these great things are happening, right? And there I am, like bloated and having reactions to food, and like my skin is all red, and I'm just like, fuck, why? Why the fuck am I feeling this way? Like, why do I have to feel shitty physically and then have all these things that I've ever wanted? Like, why can't I just have it all? And I want you to pause for a minute. Because when I say have it all, I don't mean have it all perfectly. I just mean like you can have money and purpose and someone that you love and the body that you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be done all at once. And I think for me, I was subconsciously being destructive. Like, I do think it took my body some time to figure some shit out, but I think at the end of the day, I also was really stuck subconsciously. Like, I had all these good things going on, and then I was holding myself back. And the only way that I really knew how to hold myself back was like physically, like emotionally eating, or just putting things in my body that were not serving me, or just not taking care of myself as much as I could. I didn't really have to think about taking care of myself for so many years because I had such high anxiety that I could eat whatever I want. I really could have done whatever I wanted because my body wasn't like digesting shit anyways. It was just like I would eat it and then it would just like, that's it. I don't know where it went. Didn't stay to my body though. But once my body got back to normal and my anxiety wasn't so high anymore, my nervous system was like, what's going on right now? Why do we feel normal? And when I realized, when I made this discovery, and I think it was like April 1st, I looked in the mirror and I started crying and I was like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you putting shitty foods into your body? Why are you eating when you're not hungry? Why are you being so fucking destructive? And when I asked myself why, and you need to ask yourself why, and what came up was like, I'm scared. I'm thinking the shoe is going to drop somewhere in my life, an old story, an old belief, an old pattern that I've carried with me, that I just thought I would take the shoe off first. That as long as all the other things were going right, and that doesn't mean that I haven't had like lonely days. Trust me, it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to be in LA. I'm sort of on my own, and it takes extra effort to like get out there, have community, do all these things, right? And I'm very focused on my work and, all these different things, right? So it hasn't been perfect, but I've made it so much harder for myself by not feeling good about myself, by not feeling comfortable in my body, by feeling like I don't have these proper ways to handle my stress and anxiety. So I made a decision on April 1st. I was like, you got to go in. You deserve to feel good. The better you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, the better you are to your community, the better coach you are, the better speaker you are, the better person you are. You can love all of you. And you don't have to keep punishing yourself. And I wasn't punishing myself the way that I was before by being, not listening to myself or getting high, but I was still punishing myself. And to know that, it didn't make me feel bad. It made me feel free. Because if you're listening to this and you're like, wow, Ricky, didn't you feel that was frustrating? Weren't you pissed at yourself for letting yourself go a little bit or letting yourself get to this point? Absolutely not. I was sad because I was sad that I still felt that way. But then you get over the sadness and you're like, oh, fuck, self-awareness? Damn, that's my thing. Because if I'm self-aware of something, then I can change something. Sad? Yeah, for a little bit. Did I want to speed up the process of not being bloated and getting my skin back to what it was and to feel better physically? Absolutely. But I'm okay with the process going slow as long as I'm taking a step forward because I knew I was stepping somewhere. So honestly, I've changed a lot in my life, obviously, but I've changed a lot in the last month. I've gotten rid of all these processed shit that I was eating. I'm not eating dairy. I'm not eating gluten. I'm being conscious of what I'm eating and what I'm eating and why I'm eating it. That was so weird. What just happened in my throat? Just like I did with marijuana. Why am I smoking? When am I smoking? What is the reason? Same questions, different thing. And I feel so much better. I mean, I'm not bloated. I'm starting to look and feel like myself again. And I'm sure that there will be days where I fuck it up and do something where I, don't feel that great, but I'm not going to punish myself. And I'm going to get right back on track. Because you deserve what you want. And I deserve what I want. Which at the end of the day is happiness. However way you spin it. Sometimes we change our life and we start with one change at a time. And we're healing and we're healing and we're moving. And then all of a sudden, boom, there it is right in front of you. It's like a sign. It's like it just kind of hits you. And you don't really notice it right away. And it's like, hello, Ricky, I'm that belief that you haven't healed yet. Hello, Ricky, I still feel unhealed. Can we work on this? And it comes at you fast. And I've got a lot of other things that I'm working on. But I'm just so excited because damn, what an opportunity, right? To be able to be self-aware enough and loving enough to yourself to say, hey, I do want to speed the process up and this kind of sucks right now, but you know what? I'm good. Let's take it one step forward at a time. We got this. You got this. So don't beat yourself up if you fell off track or if some shit's coming up now that you walked away from weed or your relationship, wherever you're at, embrace it. And take a step back and say, what's going on here? Am I being destructive? Is this an old subconscious pattern? And can I change it? And how can I change it? I hope you had a good walk. A few announcements. Guys, I'm losing it. The next Walking Away from Weed group starts in May 23rd, 24th, 25th. 3 days live coaching with a workbook and a group chat and a community. And I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to take this first step wherever you're at in your journey. Even if you've been a month in, or you're 2 weeks in, or maybe you fell off track, or maybe you're on day 0, I teach you how to reprogram your belief system, how to take a step forward, how to connect with yourself, how to understand the brain and dopamine and your addiction. It's incredible. And if you can't make it live, you can watch the replays. And I've had almost 90 people walk through this program. And it's been pretty amazing. So don't wait. Invest in yourself. Prices go up every single week. Space is limited. May 23rd to the 25th. If you want to sign up, you can DM me on Instagram. You can go to my TikTok, link in my bio, or my Instagram. There's a link in my bio. It says the May Walking Away from Weed program. I would love to have you because I know you're going to love it. And I have a lot more things to come. I told you I was creating some different offers and looking to also turn some podcast episodes into masterminds and webinars and all of this stuff because I and you and all of us deserve to step into our full potential. And sometimes you got to do shit that's a little scary. So thank you for joining me. I hope you had a good walk. Drink water. Don't be mean to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. I love you, and I'll see you on Monday.